back. My name is Sally. I am a mixed media artist in Australia, and today we are opening 3 scrawler boxes. 3. SCRAWLRBOXES had a sale, and I believe it was buy 2 get 1 free. I cannot remember because these have been sitting next to my desk for months, and I'm finally getting around to it. But I did choose 3 boxes that came out previous to me starting my subscription. So I've got July 21, May 21, and January 2021. So we're gonna open them up, and I reckon I'm gonna make a piece of art including all the supplies from all 3 boxes. Let's just see what happens. Grab a snack, get comfy, let's go. All right, let's open these up and see what we got inside. January 2021. All right. Oh, I forgot I'd have a bunch of candy in here as well. We have a curious kitten, 3 Tombow dual tip markers with a brush nib and a chisel nib. We have a pencil, and we have a Zig Millennium fine liner, zine, print, and the surface. A5 comic book. Ooh, so this is a very smooth textured paper. Okay. May 2021. In this box we have licorice. What is this? Liquid white colored pencil. What is this? We have a little brush. We have another fine liner, 0.8 Derwent. An exclusive color selection for SCRAWLRBOXES, Posca pencils. Cool, nice color palette there. These 2 are very interested in what's happening. Hi, Evie. More candy. What we have, a little brush. What is this? Looks like a straw. And alcohol inks for alcohol inks. Whoops. Our zine. Our print. And our surface is an A5 Yupo pad, 10 sheets, 100 GSM. That is wrapped up, so we'll unwrap that later. Alrighty, so that's all our supplies for the 3 boxes. Let's see what we can make. Okay, so here are all our supplies in total. So I'm just going to swatch everything out and layer things up and see how we can combine them together to make one piece. I will say that is a Blackwing pencil, and I do use Blackwing pencils. They're phenomenal. They're such good quality, really, really soft graphite. Probably like about maybe like a 2B kind of graphite. And the paper in that pad was really awesome because the alcohol markers didn't bleed through at all. I really enjoyed the Posca pencils. Really pigmented, very easy to blend. And apparently they can also be used on different surfaces, just like the Posca paint markers. So you can use them on wood and metal and glass and plastic and stone and all kinds of things. So I am looking forward to using those again. This liquid white, I kind of hated it. It's like a correction fluid, but it was really grainy and it took forever to dry. Like I had a really long drying time. Also, these boxes are now 2 years old, so I cannot say that that's what it's always like. But yeah, I didn't like using it. Alcohol inks, I've never played with alcohol inks before, and they were really fun. I really like with watercolor how you can watch the media move around the page, and alcohol inks, when you layer them together and using the straw to blow it in different directions, that was really cool. I really liked that. And you can get some really nice effects. So I was just testing out the other medias on the other papers because I wanted to combine all my art supplies, but I had to make sure that they were all going to work. I've got 3 very different surfaces here. And because we have 2 wet medias, we have alcohol markers and alcohol inks, I knew that I wouldn't be able to use the cartridge paper because they would just bleed through and wouldn't work at all. So yeah, I was just testing all the different supplies on the different papers just to try and make a decision about how I wanted to start, basically. So I ended up deciding on starting with the comic paper because I could use the pencils really easily on that. It was more like a traditional paper and the pens worked fine on it as well. Whereas with the other surface for the alcohol inks, the Yupo pad, it's like a Bristol type paper, very, very shiny surface, and the pencils weren't going to work as well on that. So I thought, let's use the comic paper because it'll handle the alcohol markers and the alcohol ink as well as the pencil. And I've been sort of sick this week and I've been really like low energy and not inspired, and I've got some ideas for some really cool videos coming up, but they are a lot more in depth and require a lot more work. So I'm sort of not doing much in the meantime till I'm ready to start filming that and making all that artwork for those. So I just was like, what kind of art piece am I gonna do? Like the color story, like the color palette within all the 3 boxes was actually quite cohesive. Like they all sort of worked together, but I just was not inspired by anything particular. So I had to scroll through my saved pins on my Pinterest board, and who doesn't love clown makeup? And I settled on the clown, especially because of that white liquid pencil stuff. It was really, really like quite thick and chalky. And I had a reference on Pinterest that was quite, like the model had quite thick white clown makeup on, and it just reminded me of that. So I just went with that. And I actually really hate this drawing. But you know, sometimes you've just got to be cringe and make terrible things that you don't like, and that's okay. So I did this piece using the alcohol markers, then I went in with the pencil and the fine liner, and I just kept sort of layering it up. And because I was so meh about this whole piece, I ended up doing a second one as well, which you will see after this one. So the next video I'm going to put out next Sunday is going to be all about what to do when you have art block and tips and things to try. And this is kind of like a spoiler for that, because this is one of those methods that I use. I just save reference images, and that's sort of my go-to when I don't know what to draw. And I've always loved clowns. Like, I think I'm not scared of clowns. I do understand the fear of clowns, but I do like the clown aesthetic. And I have quite a healthy meme exchange with my best friend about clowns as well. So I ended up adding some of the alcohol inks just to try and see what would happen, and it just got messy and I just didn't care about this piece at all. So yeah, not stoked on it. And when the alcohol ink dried on this paper, it left like a sort of like a ring around the pigment. So while this paper handled the wet media, it's not like the alcohol inks just were not for this paper. But luckily it's just a sketchbook. It's just for a YouTube video, which can be watched forever. And yeah, it's okay to make something that you don't really love. Because if you don't make bad things or things that you don't like, then you won't get to that next phase of... So can you see around the glitter? Yeah, I think I nailed her expression. And that's that chalkiness of the liquid pencil. So then I thought, well, I really don't want to just end on this disappointing, sad clown. Ended up being like totally appropriate. I thought I'd take the surface that came with the alcohol inks and experiment with them, because I've never played with them before. So these were really, really fun. And it was really cool just to see how they moved around when you layered them. And I used the straw quite a lot to get some movement through it and create some new textures. And then I thought this would be cool if you did this over the whole surface and used it as a background. So then, I mean, you know me, I just started drawing a skull. So I actually quite like how this turned out. It was pretty much like a throwaway last minute thing just because I had everything out, but it is an idea that I would like to develop further, like using the alcohol inks as like a cool background to have like black pen illustrations on top. So let me know what you think, and I might start doing some like galaxy type skull things. Maybe that could be cool. So I didn't go in with pencil or that. I just directly used the black fine liner, and this is how it turned out. So this one was much more successful for me than the first one. I just love all the different textures. It's quite textured. You wouldn't think so, it being ink, but there is quite a lot of texture on it. And I think that's really cool. So here are the two pieces that I did with my 3 SCRAWLRBOX supplies. So let me know what you think. And thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.